I fell in love with my fiancé and I don't know how to break it to her. My fiancé and I have been married for 7 months and I don't know how to tell her something important. We only got engaged so she wouldn't get deported during her PhD and I needed help with rent. She made it clear from day one this was strictly business, nothing more. We sleep in separate rooms, live separate lives, and in 5 months she'll graduate and leave. At least that was the plan before she gave up her entire career to save my life. Now everything's different and I need to tell her the truth about how I feel. For 4 months, we lived like strangers with scheduled lives, separate bedrooms, shower schedules on the bathroom door, bills split exactly in half. She studied from 5 a.m. until past midnight while I worked warehouse shifts. Never ate a single meal together. The government interview nearly broke us both. We sat in her car beforehand, my shirt sticking to my back, memorizing lies. Where was our first date? Some restaurant neither of us knew. How did we meet? Through friends who didn't exist. When she got nervous, she'd tap twice on the table, our signal for help. The officer stared at us for so long I thought we were caught. After passing, we had 90 days to get married or she'd be deported. The courthouse wedding was silent except for the judge's words. 2 witnesses from her lab. We shook hands after like a business deal. Now she could stay for her degree, I could afford my apartment. Perfect transaction. Our only communication was sticky notes on the fridge. Started simple. Rent due tomorrow. Then got weird. Your mom called twice. Then uncomfortable. You were talking in your sleep again. Neither of us mentioned that last one. 3 months in, her routine became my background noise. She hummed the same tune while studying. Sometimes at 2 a.m., I'd listen through the wall to her practicing presentations about brain diseases. She started leaving research notes on the kitchen table with simplified explanations in the margins. Never said why. By month 4, something felt different. She'd pause at my door sometimes before leaving. I'd find an extra coffee mug set out when I woke up. Her professor kept saying how lucky she was to have such a supportive husband, and we stopped laughing about it. The immigration officer called for a surprise check, and the panic in her eyes wasn't about getting caught anymore. It was something else. Month 5, Saturday morning, I was biking home from work when everything changed. A car ran the red light. Woke up Sunday night with 12 pins holding my leg together, and her asleep in the chair beside me, still wearing Friday's lab coat. The nurse said she'd been there since they brought me in. Listed herself as my wife, made every medical decision while I was unconscious. Signed consent forms for 3 surgeries. Monday morning came and went. Her thesis defense, 2 years of preparation, the presentation that determined her entire future. When I finally asked why she stayed, she said immigration would get suspicious if she didn't act like a real wife. Her hands shook when she said it. She knew exactly how I liked my coffee without me ever telling her. Brought it every morning at 7 a.m. Fought with nurses who were rough with the IV. When I said I couldn't afford home care, she rearranged her entire life without hesitation. Moved her research to my hospital room. Pain would wake me at 3 a.m. and she was always already awake, sitting there in the dark. She'd talk about random things until I could breathe again. Her childhood dog who ate her homework. The time she failed chemistry and cried in a supply closet. Stories I knew she'd never told anyone else. She learned to read me without words. Her hand on my back before I'd stumble. Could tell my pain level by how I held my cup. Started making breakfast before physical therapy. Dinner ready when I returned. Took overnight lab shifts for grocery money. I'd lie awake until I heard her key, then pretend to sleep when she checked on me. Her professor gave her 1 chance. 3 months to rebuild 2 years of research. She did it while caring for me, never complaining. Month 7, she defended successfully. Got her PhD and her green card. Didn't need our arrangement anymore. But by then, I needed her. Not for rent or paperwork. I needed her humming through the wall, her coffee mug next to mine, her existence in my space. I was done pretending this was business. Yesterday, she started packing. I watched from the kitchen, trying to figure out how to say it. Asked when she was leaving. She looked at me for too long, then said, "I'm not going anywhere." Mentioned maybe we should get real rings this time. Tomorrow she's meeting with a lawyer but won't say why.